come easy. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring. How you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart, are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs, are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene. You guys are watching Lubed for May the 20th, 2024. This is season 3, episode 79, game 7, all in or all out. This is it, man. Everything is on the line tonight. The Pacific Division title on the line. The chance to meet the Dallas Stars in the conference final tonight as well. Before I get into all of that stuff, I just got a little bit of housekeeping I want to keep up with. So a huge happy 86th birthday to my amazing mother. Still going strong. I love you so much. Way to go, Mom. You are such an amazing person. Also, I want to apologize for a massive goof up that I did on several occasions. It wasn't once or twice. It was several occasions on the last episode by calling JT Miller TJ Miller. Yeah, that was not so good on my part. So I do apologize. It was not by some stupid intent that I wanted to kind of call him that way. I think just TJ's ingrained in my head because I worked with guys called TJ. I'm also, TJ Oshie. So it comes more natural to me. So I do apologize for that. And then the Edmonton Oilers broke a trend in Game 6, which we're hoping they will break another trend tonight. But they are the only team to carry it further than 6 games. Every other series went 6 games. So we'll see if they can actually... well, they already did. They already did that. They're already carrying it to 7 games. But the next trend that we want to see them break is being the only team remaining in the playoffs that didn't win their division. So the New York Rangers, obviously, they won the President's Trophy. Florida won the Atlantic. Dallas won the Central. The Edmonton Oilers can be the only team, because if Vancouver wins tonight, Vancouver is the Pacific Division champion, and it'll be also the first time in NHL history, if Vancouver wins, that this has happened, that all 4 teams from their respective divisions that won their division will be in the Final Four. So that's huge. One last note that I had is I was watching Spitting Chicklets today, and I was watching in the early portion of it, RA on Spitting Chicklets came up with this stat, and this is huge for us guys. For Oiler fans, this is huge. Leo and Connor have combined for 30 points in 9 games when facing elimination since 2017. That is basically averaging 3 points per game in elimination games. So they bring it. Let's hope they bring it tonight. Those of you may have got the news out of the Vancouver media here yesterday. It's unfortunate. Like when you lose your top guy, I know what it's like when we lost. Well, we didn't lose Draisaitl, but he played with that high ankle sprain. Nurse had the torn core muscle. It sucks, man. Vancouver is down one of their key players and one of the guys that actually has done damage to the Edmonton. Like, for us as Edmonton Oilers, it's good to see him out of the lineup. No question asked. But you never want to see a guy going through blood clotting issues, which is what he's going through. This could very well, even if they win tonight, this could very well keep him out of the playoffs for the remainder of the playoffs, because I've known people with the blood clotting issues. Now, obviously, these guys are on a higher level of medical aid because they're such highly paid assets, and they want to get them up and running. But I know people that had to be like very careful for 6 months, no alcohol. If they get a slight cut, it could be like very bad, right? Like the blood thinners that they put them on is very, very extreme. So obviously, when you're playing a game that have two blades attached to your feet, yeah, it's probably highly recommended you stay out of that game. So I'm going to give my best wishes to Brock. We're going to go over a little bit of that in this episode. Obviously, we're going to review game 6. I got a new poll and I got some previous results. I'd like you guys to step up a little bit more on the poll results. There was only 2 votes, so it's kind of lame, but I'm hoping you guys can step up and give me some more support when it comes to the voting. Also, game 7 preview with the lineups basically and our current records. Let's get into this as the Edmonton Oilers managed to tie this series, take it back to Vancouver, and that game starts in literally 55 minutes, and I'm going to be glued to the TV, a neurotic mess as I always am. But yeah, a good game, a solid game. They brought their A game, and they need to bring it once again today. As this game started off in the first period with Dylan Holloway. Wow, what a play from Dylan Holloway. McDavid-like speed, cuts across the net, goes 5-hole. That was from Evan Bouchard. Just a huge effort on his part. I've praised him all playoff long and criticized Knobloch for only playing him 6 minutes, if you remember a couple episodes back. Because he's been huge, man. Dylan Holloway's looking seriously good. He's doing what he needs to do. Obviously McDavid and Draisaitl are their guys, and Hyman. They're like, those are the guys. Those are the main key players. But he's a role player, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. I honestly believe going into next season, Dylan Holloway has solidified his spot in the lineup. Then the Vancouver Canucks would tie this. It would be Nils Höglander getting his first. This would be from Elias Pettersson and Philip Roenick. We have a 1-1 game, and then after that, it was all Oilers. As Zach Hyman would get his 10th from Connor McDavid, his 17th, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' 10th as well. And that was in the second period at 7:14. A few minutes later at 11:20, Evan Bouchard. That's another guy that is really stepped up and is really looking good. Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Now, you're noticing I'm saying Connor McDavid a lot. This was probably the best game I've seen Connor McDavid play in the playoffs thus far. He had a huge night. And obviously when it counts the most, right? And that's the thing. That's what you want out of your players. Clutch players. So in the third period, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, that's another guy that has been really stepping up. Connor McDavid again, Evan Bouchard. Notice those names are kind of in sequence. They're just kind of shuffled around who gets the goals and who gets the assists. But like those guys have been just absolutely lights out clutch. And the final would be 5-1 when Evander Kane would get his 4th from Leon Draisaitl. And that's it. That's all she wrote. As far as our statistical aspects go of this game, quite a different scenario. As last time it was Vancouver kind of owning most of the stats. This time the Oilers owned up to most of the stats. 27-15 for shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers. When it comes to hits, 49-38 for the Oilers. So this is one stat that the Oilers, even in the regular season, seem to not be as effective at, but they were banging bodies and really making it tough. When it came to the face-off percentage, this is something the Oilers cannot seem to win in this whole series. Vancouver has won on the face-off dot every single game in this series. However, they did bring it down quite a bit. It was pretty even this time, 51.7, which is awesome. That's bringing it down. Let's hope tonight that the Oilers win that thing, but also win win the game, which is the most important thing. By the way, if they do win the game, I believe their series would start on, let's see, how does it go? They miss tomorrow. So tomorrow's Tuesday, so Wednesday. So they would start Thursday against Dallas if they win tonight, um, which is kind of, they have 1 day layoff. Okay, let's get into the power play. Now, special teams is not a factor. So honestly, tonight it boils down to the speed. They have to play fast. They can't rely on special teams at all. And what I fear the most is that the Oilers, knowing that Brock Besser isn't out of the lineup, that they step off the pedal. They have to push that pedal, push, go all the way. The penalty kill was also stellar. So both teams struggling on special teams. That's not going to win the game. It's going to be speed tonight. Speed is going to win the game, and getting to the pucks harder and faster than the opponent. And that's what will win you this series tonight for sure. Okay, let's go into block shots. Canucks actually won this stat 17-11. And then when it comes to the goaltending save percentage, because I got away from the takeaways and giveaway stat. I kind of agree with Chris Knobloch. He said that in the media just a little ways back that, it's kind of a pointless stat, and it kind of is. So I kind of got away from it. So I thought I would do the save percentage comparisons to both tenders. I think that's more important. Skinner looked good. He only faced 15 shots, but he looked good, and we need him to be on top of his game tonight. 933 for him last game. 815 for Shelovs. Is that the correct pronunciation? I hope so. Shelovs. I always call him Silovs. Shelovs. 815. His worst performance thus far in the playoffs. And hopefully that trend is staying in that same direction, because he's been pretty good for the Vancouver Canucks in replace of Thatcher Demko. My stars, the stars that I choose. Now, again, I don't go off of ESPN. I don't go off of the Edmonton Sun or the Journal or whatever's out there in Edmonton anymore, or whatever media outlet is on the internet. I actually thoroughly look at the stats and look at who did what. So this is all my opinion and 100%. So Dylan Holloway, 1 goal, 2 hits, 2 block shots, hell of a game. And I think the main reason why I put him in the 3rd star, and he could very well rank higher, is he set the momentum of the game. That goal that he scored was huge. It set a tone. It set the speed tone. It set everything in place for that game. So I got to give him, you know what? I'm going to give him the salute. It was huge. I know he's only a 3rd star, but it was huge. 2nd star for me, obviously, I have to kind of go off a little bit of the numbers, and I had trouble thinking about this one, but I'm going to go with Evander Kane. I initially didn't have him in because I think I had, depending on who my 1st star is, I can't remember now because it was yesterday when I did this graphic. I think it was Draisaitl. No, it's McDavid is my 1st star. I know that. And Draisaitl would have been my 2nd star. But when I looked at Evander, the fact that he had 1 goal and 6 hits, that to me was what changed my opinion. I did want to go with Draisaitl, so an honorable mention to Leo. But the fact that he's banging bodies, and anytime you're banging a body, you're creating space. You're getting guys off pucks, which is creating space, which is allowing McDavid and Draisaitl to do their magic. And of course, Connor McDavid probably having the best playoff game so far this year. We need him to have even a better game going into tonight's game. Huge. Absolutely, absolutely huge. So normally, guys, I would be doing a comparison here on the 2 players. However, under the circumstances, with Brock Besser being out, which it's like, look, Oiler Nation is supporting him. Like we we don't like seeing people, and this is more than just an injury, okay? This is a blood clot. This is a health issue. This is something that is a little bit more serious than an injury. And injuries suck. And Brad Marchand stated in the media that, we play to hurt players, which is kind of a shitty deal when you think about it, that you're so invested on winning that championship that you're willing to affect the health and well-being of other players. But that's how it is, and that's in all professional sports, guys. It's not just the NHL. My good buddy Steve back in Edmonton stated that he read the Beckham book, and he told me stories in there that, yeah, they slide tackle to try to break your ankles. Like, that's how it is in professional sports. It sucks. It's a shitty thing, but when there's so much money on the line, that's what people do, and it sucks. It sucks that money separates. Anyway, that's going way, way, way off topic. Unfortunately, it's huge that Brock Besser will miss Game 7 due to a blood clotting issue. He's been an absolute Oiler killer, and we're going to go through some of it right now. So in this playoffs, he is a point per game player. 12 games played, he has 7 goals and 5 assists. That's in the playoffs in total. Brock has 7 points, 6 goals, 1 assist in 4 regular season games versus the Edmonton Oilers this season. So you can see where I'm going. This guy is a very important key in the cog of the Vancouver Canucks and their well-being of how they do against the Edmonton Oilers. And it's huge. This is a huge loss. They'll ask Tokic in the media, oh, how do you fill those shoes? Well, you don't really fill those shoes. You hope that you can get maybe an extra 5% out of this player, an extra 5% out of that player, and then eventually lead to 100%. But you can't really fill the shoes. When a guy has a team's number, it's huge. And he's been lights out good against the Oilers. So for me as an Oiler fan, I'm happy he's out. That being said, under the circumstances, I do wish him the best, and I'll get into that in a moment. In 31 games versus the Edmonton Oilers, Brock has 16 goals, 11 assists for a total of 27 points, an average of 0.87 points per game. So that is huge. Very, very, very huge. And it is unfortunate, but Oiler Nation does have your back, Brock. Get well soon. If you guys do defeat us tonight, I hope to see you back in the playoffs. That being said, I hope you guys don't beat us tonight. I really hope not, but we will find out as that game starts in about 42 minutes. Huge game. But yeah, I get it. I totally get it. When you are when you have, as a fan, invested so much emotion, and then you find out your player is hurt and all that. Like when Leo got hurt, it deflates you. It just really deflates you. And I'm sure the Vancouver fan base are definitely deflated right now. But more importantly, you wish for a quick recovery. So best wishes to Brock. All right, so that takes us to the next question or poll. Now, this one, I couldn't really think of one. So I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I would have thought of a better one, but let's go with it. So pending tonight's results. So this is a vote. I want you to vote after the game because I'll get more accurate results because we'll know who's playing Dallas tonight after the game. How well either the Canucks or Oilers fare up against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Final? Again, I urge you guys to vote after the game to find out who's playing who. If Oilers are playing Dallas or if Canucks are playing Dallas, that's probably the best time to vote. I will do this on my next episode, which could be the very last episode of the season, or a carry on as we go into the Western Conference finals against the Dallas Stars, which is the ideal scenario. Okay, so again, I'm not getting enough votes and enough support from you guys. I only had 2 votes on the question, is this the year or the window of opportunity, or like, is this the year that the window of opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers closes? Because we know Leo's up for contract negotiation going next year. There's already rumors floating that he's connected to Boston and San Jose and I believe Toronto. Of course, Toronto's always going to be in the mix. Is this the year? So there has been 2 votes, and the 2 votes that have happened stated no, so 100%. Again, I would like to see a little bit more participation, a little bit more, and get a little bit more of a feel from you guys. 2 votes doesn't really cut it, but yeah. I honestly, if I voted, I should have voted. I'm going to be honest that they have to do it this year. I really do believe there is that cup or bust factor involved here. Okay, let's go into the preview for tonight. Again, there's obviously a little bit of a shuffle with the Vancouver Canucks lineups. That being said, the Edmonton Oilers pretty much standing pat. Okay, so for the Edmonton Oilers, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with McDavid and Hyman. Nothing has changed essentially. Holloway with Draisaitl and Kane. Fogle with McLeod and Ryan. And Janmark with Carrick and Brown. The Canucks, however, have a lot of change as Ilya Mikhailov will go up on the first line with JT Miller and Pettersson. Pettersson is replacing Besser in that right wing position. Joshua with Lindholm and Garland. Philip Di Giuseppe is going to be on the same line with Bluger and Amen. Höglander, Suter, and Lafferty draws in for the Canucks. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic now that it's game 7 and they have to get very familiar with each other very, very, very quickly. Okay. For the defense pairings, Ekholm with Bouchard. Again, nothing has changed. Nurse with Desharnais, Kulak with Ceci. For the Vancouver Canucks, it's pretty much the same thing. Hughes with Roenick, Susie with Myers, and Zadorov with, well, actually, Ian Cole does draw in. So there is one slight little change there. As far as the goaltending goes, Skinner will be starting tonight. Picard is the backup. Adam Henrique is day-to-day when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks. Shelovs will be starting with D. Smith as a backup. And now 2 more injuries have been added to the Vancouver Canucks. Obviously, we know about Tucker Poolman and Thatcher Demko, but Brock Besser, obviously with the blood clotting, he's out. And Mikhailov, I know my logo's in the way there. He's listed as day-to-day. I got to change that one graphic just slightly because it's totally covering his name. But Mikhailov is listed day-to-day. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, let's go into the final thoughts here and see what you guys say. There is some comments I can see, so we will get right into that right now. Okay, so as you can see, we're the only series in the second round that's awaiting a final thing, a final result of who plays who. So the winner of tonight will play the Dallas Stars as they defeated the Avalanche 4-2. You're going to see the Florida Panthers taking on the New York Rangers. That should be another doozy of a series, real good. And that's it. And then those 4 teams are fighting off for a chance to play in the Stanley Cup final in a couple of weeks. And boy, oh boy, it's getting very, very interesting. Let's go to some of the comments here. Let's start off with Renegade Man. If Edmonton doesn't win tonight, go Florida. That's a team that deserves it. Yeah, you know what? If Edmonton doesn't win tonight, that also means that Vancouver down Brock Besser we're still able to get the job done. So I'm unless they play a real dirty ass game, I'm probably gonna go for the Vancouver Canucks. That's kind of where I'm at. Renegade Man, once again, as much as I will never cheer for the Canucks, I hope Besser is okay. Yes, I think we all do. It's a blood clot. Like it's not an injury, it's a health issue. And that's what people got to understand. Like that's a thing you got to kind of treat very gingerly. Like I say, you can't even consume alcohol when you're on those meds because the blood thinners are so um they're so effective that if you consume alcohol, because alcohol obviously consumes your blood or thins out your blood, and that's why people get drunk and all that kind of stuff, because it thins out your blood. You add that into it, you can't even have that. Like, I mean, it's scary, and not to mention that your blood is so thin that a minor cut could be fatal. Like, I'm not even joking. You cut yourself doing celery or something like that, you could die. You could bleed out. Like, it's pretty intense. I don't know if it's that intense, but it's pretty intense. Renegade Man, once again, Edmonton has to make Vancouver play defensive because Skinner has to take fewer shots as much as possible. I agree. I 100% agree. I'm not. So Stuart Skinner next to who was that goaltender of Vancouver? Dan Cloutier. Dan Cloutier, since 1990, is the only one that has a lower save percentage in the Stanley Cup playoffs than Stuart Skinner. So that's not a good stat to have. That being said, I think Stuart knows the implications. He knows that a whole city is riding on him. He knows that this is cup or bust. There's the pressure on that poor man. The pressure. And then he has his own kids to deal with at home. So, yeah, like that's one thing we as fans don't really understand. And that's the pressure that all these athletes face when they got a whole city. And it's not even just that, because I don't think the pressure was as high in the 80s. But when you got people paying $800 goddamn dollars to go to a hockey game, that's basically, a week's worth of some of these guys' pay. If not, if not worse, right? 2 weeks for some people. There's a lot of pressure on these guys. So we'll see what happens. This game will be starting in about half an hour from now. I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be a neurotic mess, but let's do it. Let's do it, man. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Those of you who are watching this channel for the very first time and enjoy the content I bring, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It would be muchly appreciated. And now we'll see you next time.